There's like this really weird thing that we get trained into, especially in America, that we think we're supposed to we think the way to get forward and to get farther is to make sure like we're utilizing every minute of the day and like stressing ourselves out and like drinking caffeine and like getting more done. And like I've done it that way and I've done it not that way, and let me tell you, I don't know why we're sold this lie, because it's literally not true. Like, even if we talk about like the law of least effort and like the law of attraction, like I think even outside of that, it doesn't psychologically, like the busier you are, just because you're busy, it doesn't mean that you're making progress, and it doesn't mean that you're moving forward. And like I think one of the biggest things that we can do to change our lives, and like that I've experienced in changing my own life, is like the 80-20 rule, right? Because like we can fill all of our time and like be busy and like convince ourselves that we're getting more done, but like in reality, like if we're not doing things that are actually like moving the needle and like driving us forward, like it's just a waste of energy. There's a deer. It's literally just a waste of energy, and it just eats up your life force, and it doesn't move you forward. And I feel like that's something that we all know, right? But it's like, okay, well then what is driving the needle? Like, what can I actually do to move myself forward? And I think that's where the big question is because like, I think, especially when we have a goal that we don't know how to achieve, like one of the things we can get caught up in is like sort of sitting in the energy of like, I don't know what steps to take, I don't know what to do. And so we end up like kind of getting in our own way and like getting a little bit frantic and like either not taking any action or like taking a lot of different action and not really knowing like what the next right step is. And so we can kind of like get ourselves twisted up in this thing and end up like not really moving forward at all. You know what I mean? And one of the biggest hacks I have found in life is to go slow to go fast. Like, and it's so counterintuitive. And I think especially if you have a goal that like is on a deadline, or like you're like, you need to take action and you want to accomplish this thing. But at the end of the day, like you need to take a step back and do nothing in order to understand what the next right step is. Because when we talk about the 80-20 rule, like how we get clarity on like what the things are that we actually need to do, like there's a lot of intuition involved in that process. And I have a business background, specifically in business consultation and marketing strategy. And let me tell you that I think there's this misconception there that like this is a super like left brain job, and like everything has to be laid out and like and planned out and like to every last detail. And don't get me wrong, like I think a lot of the industry operates that way, but like one of the things I never fully understood until I was in this industry is that like with goal setting, even like in a masculine way, there's a massive amount of intuition actually involved in like understanding what has to happen next and what has to happen in order to actually move you forward instead of just keeping yourselves busy. So like one of the best things you can do for yourself, and it feels counterintuitive because it's going to feel like you're not being productive, is to actually take a step back and take rest and do nothing and let the intuition actually come to you. Because it might take some time, and at first it's going to feel like you're doing nothing, but I promise you, like things are happening under the surface. And during that time that you're doing nothing, like take time to like line up with the objective that you want, because you want to line up the energy first before you actually take the action. You know what I mean? So take a step back, do nothing, don't take action in the physical world, but make sure that you are doing what you need to actually be embodied in that state. Like this could be visualizations, walking meditations, like whatever it takes for you to understand like what that reality tastes like and what that reality feels like you're getting information from those feeling states. And what happens is you start subconsciously shifting to that reality. And so then insights and clarity start coming, because now you're thinking like the person that actually lives in this reality already. And so insights and clarity about what the next right step is actually comes into your life. And then it's very clear and it's very easy on what has to happen. And it's not you trying to force some outcome and like busying yourself to try to figure out how to make it happen. It's just clear to you. The path just opens up and you're like, oh, like the door opens and you just walk through it. And it's incredibly natural because you've already lined up the energy. You already are this person. And so what seemed previously like something that was really difficult because it didn't seem like natural to your identity now becomes infinitely easier because it's just who you are. And so all of this clarity comes that you couldn't really have seen before the energy was lined up, and now you understand what steps you have to take in order to make it happen, and it's radically easier. So even though it's counterintuitive, my advice to you is to actually do nothing and take a step back and go slower to go faster, because we have to have silence. We have to have silence and rest and almost like a void in order to get that clarity on what has to happen. You know what I mean? So take that space, take that time, stop trying to manipulate the situation to make something happen or figure out what's the right action I have to take to do this. It's not in the action, it's in the energy. So it might feel unproductive at first, but take a step back, rest, get into nature, journal, do the inner work, do the energy work, visualize that experience, visualize what you want to happen, and do it until it feels natural to you. And I promise you, the insights are going to come, the clarity is going to come, and you're going to know exactly what you have to do, what the next right step is. And you're going to be, by the time you reach that point, you're going to be more productive than you ever were before. Like, there was a point in my life where I was trying really hard to control things and take action in order to make certain situations happen, but my energy wasn't lined up. I was still coming from a previous identity, not the identity who had the success that I was looking for, right? And what I did is I took this rest period and I stepped back and I lined up the energy and I did a whole lot of observably nothing, even though I was doing a lot of inner work. And because everything shifted before I took the action, at this point now, I am doing less and I'm doing significantly less and getting way more massive results just because I shifted the energy. You know what I mean? And action that I was doing before and not getting any results for, now I am, because the energy is shifted. And not only that, but by taking the mindset of rest and slowness and not forcing myself to like max out every minute of my day and like plan it all out, I actually end up doing more by taking that pressure off of myself and giving myself ease and time to play. I actually spend more time working because it's shifted in my mind. Like, it doesn't feel like I've taken that pressure off myself. So now, because it's not mandatory, now it's optional. Like, it actually makes me want to do it because I know that, first of all, it's natural to my identity now. And second of all, it's play. It's exciting. It's fun for me. And I know that it's not this unnecessary pressure that I'm putting on myself. You know what I mean? So take that pressure off of yourself, go slow, rest, take a step back, line up the energy. The intuition is going to guide you, and the steps that you're going to take from that place are going to be infinitely more impactful than you taking a bunch of, action from the old identity. So I love you so much. I hope this was helpful, and I will see you next time.